You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
So let's get into this. I know if you are not caught up on This Is Us, skip over this because it's gonna give you some spoilers. You may not want to know what's going on. But I was thinking of the episode where we really reveal and get to know who Randall and Beth are. And so we get to see their relationship develop. One, let me tell you, I love Sterling Brown. That's Randall's character. I love him. Have y'all ever watched him on the red carpet and how he looks at his wife? He just gives her these eyes that are like, I love you. I want to see you be successful. He just loves his wife. That's just a side note to this. And so I see him looking at Beth the same way. And it must just come naturally for him because he genuinely is in love with his real wife. He's just giving that same flavor as an actor. But that's neither here nor there. In the last, 3 episodes, we kind of see their relationship take a dive when Beth has decided to go for her dreams. Randall is going for his dreams. And then we see how it collides when you have two people who are going for their purpose and trying to figure out how to raise a household, how to pay bills. It's just so much going on. And don't we all experience that? Like, we go through life and we try to figure out what's going on, like how to manage. And most of the time, a person has to compromise. And in this situation, Beth is the one who has compromised. But she admitted that she has been compromising their entire relationship. So could you imagine spending an entire relationship and compromising with the person? And so it's like every time he needs something or the family needs something, she just figures out how to do it. And so I was like, I could take this talk in a direction of like, oh, how dare her family be selfish like that? But I want to put it back on us. We are responsible for our own reaching our own goals, our own dreams. We are responsible for setting our boundaries with people. And in this, I was like, Beth did not set any type of boundaries with her family, with mainly her husband. You know, she was just always accepting of whatever it is he had going on, and she would work it out. And eventually all of that working it out for other people caught up and she exploded. So I wanted to ask you guys, how many of you have been in a relationship, whether it's platonic, work related, romantic, family, where you feel like you just keep giving of yourself? Like you feel like it's your responsibility to make sure that everybody else is okay. Even if you're not okay, you just feel like, I have to make sure that the kids are fed, that my husband or my significant other feels like he's supported and taken care of, or my mom needs this, or my dad needs that, or my sister doesn't feel supported. How many of us are going through that every day in life where we feel like, oh my God, like I just have to take care of everybody else? And then in that moment where you get to steal a little time for yourself, people call you out for it. Like, oh, so you can't help me because of X, Y, Z. I can't tell you how many times I get that. People will be like, well, you were doing such and such for so-and-so. And it's like, dang, you clocking my time? You clocking what I do for other people? Like, manage yourself. Are you considered the strong person in the family? Like, people say, like, you're strong, you know, like, your feelings don't get hurt, or you're easy to get over stuff. Like, they always consider you that person, like, oh, you'll get over it, or you'll be able to handle it. And oftentimes we are able to handle it, but that handling is a mask of what we are really feeling. Sometimes we feel broken. Sometimes we don't feel strong. Sometimes we feel hurt, frustrated, sad, confused. But because you're the strong person in the family, you don't get to express those feelings. You don't get to have feelings when you're the strong person in the family, because people are dependent on you to guide them, to lead them, to help them feel better about the situation. But what happens when the strong person isn't strong any longer? And we see Beth like flip out. Like, she said some mean stuff to him. And honestly, like, she went back and apologized to it. But I was like, no, Beth, own that. That's how you felt. Like, in that moment, you felt that you needed to tell him that, because people don't realize they will push you to the edge. They will push all your niceness. They will take that one little nerve that is like, it ain't even a millimeter, and they will step on it and crush it. But I don't fault those people all the time. I fault me for not taking responsibility for my own care. It's nobody else's responsibility to take care of what I know I need to do for me. See, I've made a decision in my life to take care of those people, to make sure that people have their favorite foods in the house, to make sure that my daughter can do X, Y, and Z, to make sure my son can do all these things. I've taken on that responsibility to help my mother or to help my sister or to do all these things. I've decided to do that. Nobody forced me to. It's a decision that I made on my own. So I can't blame, like, when Beth finally explodes, I understand it, but I also think we should be held accountable for taking care of ourselves. If you don't do it, who will? And so at some point in time, we have to break free from the chains that bind us of self-sacrifice. And we have to be like, I can no longer sacrifice self. I have to take care of me, because if I don't, I am a ticking time bomb. And when that bomb goes off, I'm going to let everybody have it. And y'all ask my family, like, I think I've done like several blog posts where I'm like, I just wanted them to sit down. Like, I just wanted them to be quiet. I wanted to have a minute. And then when I couldn't get that minute or get that moment to myself, I explode. And when I explode, honey, just clear the house. Go sit down somewhere, because it's I don't know any other way to handle it. And it's not that I like to explode. And I'm not saying that we should explode on our family or our friends or other people in our life. What I'm saying is that we need to find ways to take care of ourselves before when I get yes, I leave and go to Target. No, because then I'll spend up all my money. I can't just leave and go to Target when I get like that. But we need to take time for ourselves to figure out other means and other ways to deal with the pressures of life. See, we take on everybody else's responsibilities. And I know we as women, even if you're a mom or if you're not a mom, we as women tend to do that. We tend to try to figure out things for other people. So in the midst of my figuring out things for other people, I forgot to figure out things for myself. So now I put myself in a compromising position, not with other people, but with myself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, who do you see? Who do you think you are? Are you just the person that figures out how to help everybody else, or have you figured out how to help yourself? See, the first person you owe it to is to figure out what you got going on and then spread that out and help other people. But all too often, we're putting ourselves in positions where we don't take the time to figure out who we are, what we like, what we don't like, what we do like. We are just giving ourselves away. And in Beth's recollection of their relationship, she gave herself away so many times. And you know what happens when you tend to give yourself away? You become resentful. And she began to recount every single time that she gave herself away, for moments that she thought she could steal away, but she couldn't. She tended, and that's what it does, it builds up. You tend to just start keeping track of everything they do. You got all the receipts in your bag. Like, remember when I told you that I wanted to do this, but then you had this going on? Like, you tend to just keep remembering that. And so it's like, hey, like, I didn't even know. The other person's like, I didn't even realize that was an issue for you, because you never said it. And then if you do say that the person is an issue for you, or the things that they're asking you to do are an issue for you, but you still do it anyway, you've given yourself away. We got to stop giving us away so freely to situations, even if it's meant to be helpful to another person. Stop giving away what you don't know that you have to give away. My father always tells me, don't loan people money that you can't afford to not have get back. So I can't give you $60 and be able to write that $60 off if I know my $60 off. Because what if you can't give it back? What if something happens in your life and you can't give me that back? Stop giving pieces of yourself away that you can't afford to give away. You can't afford to give away all of your treasures. You are a treasure. You can't afford to keep giving yourself away to situations, to people, to other circumstances, if you don't figure out who you are first and what you can give away and what you can give away and not have to get back. See, that's the biggest thing that we miss, is that we give ourselves away, we give ourselves over to other people, and then we don't consider what we may not be able to get back. So you may not get back. So you may support somebody. You may show up to all their events. You may give people money. You may give people your time. And then you'll be upset because you don't get that back in return. But that's not their fault. They may have never had any intention on giving that back to you, but you freely gave to them. And you're thinking, like, I think sometimes we think in our minds, like, because that's the type of person I am. I'm a good person. I will give you the shirt off my back. And so I expect people to do that for me. That's your expectation. That's not their expectation. They're going to people will take whatever they can get from you. And sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not intentional, but they will. But you have the expectation that they're going to return the favor, and they don't. So stop giving away what you can't afford to give away, whether it's time, whether it's support, whether it's your thoughts, whatever, your energy, whatever it is. If you can't afford to give that away and not have it returned to you, stop giving it. See, Beth had given away all these things. She had always catered to what Randall needed. And then she, in return, thought that Randall would cater to her. But when he didn't show up the way she expected him, you get that? When he didn't show up the way she expected him to, it was an issue. And it's like you have to take control and responsibility for the way you show up for yourself. That's what it is, ladies. You have to take responsibility for the way you show up for yourself. The way that you show up for other people, start showing up for yourself and see how things turn around in your life. You have the power to create uniquely for yourself what it is you need to be good with you. Remember, I always tell y'all that every night when I look in the mirror, as long as I can say I'm good with Nick, I'm good. I have to do that every night. And there's some nights that I can't say I'm good with Nick. And those for me are disappointing evenings. Like, dang, you did not come through for yourself today. You did not show up for yourself today. For me, I need to be aware of that so that the next day I do show up for Nick. I do show Nick some love. Because if I don't show up for me, who will? And you think, oh, my friends and my family, yes, but is it their responsibility or obligation to show up for you? Are you expecting them to show up, and when they don't, you're upset? That's your expectation. Put those same expectations on yourself. Expect you to show up for you. And let me tell you, when you start to show up for you, that will translate to the rest of your life. And then you will know what you can give away and what you can expect yourself to give to other people. So when I talk to you guys, I really want you to remember to show up for you. Your assignment is to go ahead, grab you a mirror this evening and look at yourself and really determine if you know who you are. Are you somebody who is just showing up for other people, who people can call on and, you know, they know that's who you are? Like, oh, sometimes, like, I'm not going to even try because I can just call and ask so-and-so. Are you that person that is showing up for other people, but you're not showing up for yourself? Is that what you identify with? If that's what you identify with and you're cool with that, don't complain. Don't complain when other people don't show up for you, because you've put yourself in a position and you said, that's my identity. That's who I am. I'm going to be the person that shows up for other people because that's who I am. But if you're mad that that's the person that you are and you want to change, guess what? You can change. You can start to show up for yourself. You can use the word no, or you can use the words to say that, hey, I need time to take for myself. It's not selfish. It's nothing wrong with it. It's so that you can replenish what you need to for you so that you can go out and be better, if that's what you decide to do. But you have to create the space, the map for who you are from head to toe to say, this is what I need. This is what I expect. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. When you don't create that for yourself, though, you are leaving yourself open to have other people tell you who you are. So people can tell you that, hey, you're the person I'm going to call when I need money. You're the person I'm going to call when I need somebody to be strong for me. You're the person I'm going to call when X, Y, and Z goes wrong in my life, or when X, Y, and Z goes right in my life. You're my person. Guess what, ladies? Sometimes you have to show up and be your own person. Take that mirror tonight, look into it, and see who you really are. Who are you? Who are you? And if you can't reconcile with yourself who you really are, or if you don't even recognize yourself, because sometimes we get so into what other people want us to be that we just don't even come to the terms that we don't even recognize ourselves. You like, girl, you look tired. Girl, you look worn out. I don't even recognize who you are. Most of the time we look in the mirror to see if we look okay, but we don't look in the self to see if we are okay. It's a difference between if you looking at yourself to see what you look like as appearance, and if you looking at yourself to see if your soul is all right. You can tell when you're tired. I know I can. I'm like, ooh, you need to go sit down somewhere, get some sun, get some water, get some peace of mind to get yourself all the way back together. But who are you? That's my question to you guys. Who are you? Where is your identity? And if you feel like it's been stolen by somebody else, like they've escaped, was my identity. Like, I used to be this person who was fancy free, cool, could hang with the best of them. I loved my life. I had joy. Yeah, I've turned into this person where I don't even know where my joy is any longer. Your identity has been stolen and you need to reclaim it. You need to go search and figure it out. And guess what? No matter what age you are, you're still figuring it out on a regular basis who you are. I can tell you, like, from yesterday to today, I've discovered something that I don't like, and I was like, oh, I ain't gonna do that no more. I ain't gonna do that anymore. We are constantly evolving, and that's the magic of who we are as people, who God created us to be, is that we get the opportunity to constantly evolve and determine what we like and what we don't like, and how we feel about things and how we don't feel about things. Now, let me tell you this, I'm gonna be honest. When you're learning who you are and identifying with yourself, some people won't agree with you. They want you to be who you were if it benefits them. And you can be that, but you can also take the opportunity to figure out who you are and what you want to do and create this space that is uniquely designed just for you. And you can be happy with it. Now, we see that Randall isn't all thrilled that Beth is going back and decided to teach these dance classes and all this other stuff, and how is it going to work out because he's got his seat on the city council now. But I like the fact that Beth stands firm in her, this is what I want to do with my life. And she's figuring out a way to be able to do that. And she still figured out a way to support him. But ladies, let's take the opportunity to figure out how we can support us. Show up for yourself. Expect yourself to be there for yourself. And that may seem weird, like that just really confused me. But I know what I'm saying. Show yourself the same expectancy that you show other people. Show up for you. You matter. And if you don't matter to anybody else, at least matter to yourself. And people are going to come at you and say you're selfish, or you wasn't like this before, or you're changing. Yeah, you're changing. And guess what? It's going to be something miraculous. It's going to be something that is like, wow. You're going to see this glow on your face. You're going to see this strut in your walk, because you're going to change and become a better person. But first, what you have to do is figure out who you are. What is your identity? And if you feel like who you are has gone, or it's been stolen, somebody took your identity and they done ran with it, and you lost and confused when you look in that mirror, go on ahead, get your paper out, get your pen out, and write down who you are or who you want to be, and create the space for you to become that person. Hotties, it is always a great opportunity to come in here and talk to you guys, to give you guys all that sauce, that flavor, that heat. I know who I am, and I know that every day I am changing to become something greater. And if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. Guess what, you guys? You've been tuned in and you've been elevated. I will talk to you soon.